this thing working? Give me some sound over here.
Yeah.
The Out of Bounds Show is powered by the award-winning golf courses at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club in Philadelphia, Mississippi.
We welcome in Brad Henderson on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Played at Ole Miss, and now the Ole Miss Baseball color analyst. This is Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Our college baseball discussion today is brought to you by Boar's Head Game Day Sliders. Premium meats, cheeses, and hummus, all at Boar's Head in your local grocery store, including Corner Market. Brad Henderson, it's been a while. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, Bo. I appreciate you having me on, and just glad it's baseball season again.
Yeah, I know you all had a lot of fun last weekend. You weren't challenged at all from Delaware. You know what you had in Hunter Elliott and Jacob Gonzalez and Kemp Alderman and many others, Jack Daugherty. But what was – I'd like to go with pitching. What was your one big takeaway on the mound for Ole Miss this weekend?
Consistency. You know, you talk about Grayson Saunier, who pitched Saturday game. Came in with a lot of hype, kid out of Collierville. You know, there's opportunity. They thought they may lose him in the draft, but he ended up on campus. And, you know, that there was a lot of excitement when him taking the mound, so I was anxious to see, you know, could he control the nerves? He's a four-pitch guy. He's really good, highly touted, and I thought he was really good. And then on the backside of the weekend with Xavier Rivas, actually I thought he probably, to me, had the best outing of the weekend. He's a left-hander that had a really good fall. He was a portal guy. But he came in and pitched really well as well. We ran a lot of freshman arms out there. Sam Takoyan, Jordan Vera. There was just a number of guys that got some innings under their belt, which obviously they need early in the season to try and gain some confidence as you know, as the season goes on, and we probably face a little stiffer competition.
Yeah. Brad Henderson on the Out of Bounds Show. Ole Miss is 3-0. They play Arkansas State tonight, and then they host the Maryland Terrapins this weekend for a 3-game series. Then turn around the next week and play them in a baseball classic, which is kind of wild. When you talk about, okay, so you mentioned Saunier and Rivas. Like, who do you have more confidence in staying in the starting pitching role over the weekend?
Whew. Yeah, that's a coin flip right now. And obviously, Bo, you know, it's a long season, right? And you think back to last year when opening weekend we went Derek Diamond, John Gaddis, Drew McDaniel, you know, and that changed pretty quickly as the season went along. So, you know, right now it's clearly too early to tell, and I wouldn't want to speculate on that. But you know, you saw Mississippi State coming off a national championship the year before, and you got to stay healthy, right? That was kind of kicker for them last year. They lost so many good arms going into the 2022 season. They kind of put them in a bind, and you saw them try and shuffle some guys around. So you got to stay healthy, right? And then you got to, on those big weekends, those guys you just mentioned for Ole Miss have got to step up and perform. But there's always, there's always guys in the waiting. We saw it last year with Dylan DeLucia, Hunter Elliott. When it was their turn, their time to get on the weekend, they showed up and pitched really well. So, you know, a lot of baseball left. A lot of guys going to get some opportunities. So, you know, to say right now which one of those two I feel most confident in staying on the weekend, you know, I truly can't answer that.
Okay. What about JT Quinn going tonight? What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, a lot of upside. Hard-throwing right-hander. This weekend he had a little short outing. He's going to be anywhere from 93 to 96. True freshman, good breaking ball. But that's kind of the culture that Mike's built here. You know, he's brought in a lot of good arms, and typically has in the past. So for me, it's about just logging innings for those younger guys and gaining some confidence. But I'm excited to see him get the start tonight. I think he's going to be a really good one for at least 3 years.
You've seen some good ones the last couple of years since you started doing this Ole Miss Baseball color analyst, but is Jacob Gonzalez the best college baseball player you've seen?
He's the best. Yeah, he's the best I've seen in the 4 years. And to run out there as an Ole Miss fan, you'll get a lot of pushback to say he's arguably could be the greatest shortstop to ever come through Ole Miss. But I think offensively, when it's all said and done, after 3 years, one could certainly make that argument. I think he's got the opportunity to be a 20-homer guy this year. He hit 18 last year.
Wow.
13 as a freshman. And he does it so quietly. This weekend he had one or two hits the first couple of games, and then he goes off on Sunday with a grand slam and a base clearing double, had 7 RBIs. He plays a tremendous shortstop. I think when it's all said and done, we look back, you've got to throw him in that conversation with the Kessingers of the world, with the Zach Kozarts of the world. He's a special, special talent.
Do you notice anything different about Mike Bianco now that he got the big, gorilla off his back, Brad?
That's a really good question. He's probably a little looser, maybe, but the way he held it together last year, when maybe 10 years ago, we may have seen a Mike Bianco that was a little tighter in the clubhouse, a little tighter post-game or maybe mid-game when some of those crucial decisions have to be made. I didn't see it last year, Bo, when we were 7-14, which is a credit to Mike. And like all coaches that have been doing it and been successful, that they learn. And I think last year was a huge step for him. But, I think the way he's carried himself this year, I think he's been a little looser, but there's been an objective. I mean, it's a huge hurdle. Now you got a bullseye on your back.
Right.
You're the defending national champion, and that's not an easy thing, but I think he's balanced that well. I talked to him before the season started. Of course, he had a mentor in Coach Bertman, who he played for and coached with, that he's able to lean on and learn from because he was in that situation so many times trying to defend a national championship. And so I think he's handled it really well. They were really calculated on how they did a lot of the championship stuff during the fall, like the football game and going to the governor's mansion, because half that clubhouse wasn't on that team. So there's been a nice balance there. But I think he's done a really nice job preparing this team and getting them refocused on a new season.
All right, I've only got a minute. We'll do a longer segment next week or something. Brad Henderson, Ole Miss Baseball, and the Out of Bounds Show. Who's a guy that we haven't talked about, either on the mound or at the plate, a guy that you know about, you're keeping an eye on, that you think could be special at some point?
Ethan Groff, center fielder, transfer from Tulane. He's a baseball player. True center fielder. He's going to hit at the top of the order. Just does everything right. Can really run. Plays the mess out of center field. He's going to hit for a little pop, but he is just an absolute baseball player, and he's going to be a fun guy to keep an eye on all season.
I remember him from last year. Okay, there you go. Ethan Groff. Brad Henderson, Ole Miss Baseball color analyst, played at Ole Miss, joining us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Brad, we'll do this several times throughout the spring and summer. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Hindu on the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. And our college baseball coverage today is brought to you by Boar's Head Game Day Sliders. It does not get any better. Load them up, have some fun with them, and maybe a little comeback sauce on the side to keep Blake Mania all happy. But, some Boar's Head Game Day Sliders with some pickles, maybe a little spicy mustard. That's what you need for your Mississippi State Ole Miss baseball platter. Back in a second.